Hi Akash.
Hi Sumit. Is my screen visible to you? All?
Yeah, only the font skin is visible. Like
So yeah, as of now, it's visible.
yeah.
So yeah, yesterday like we had discussed basically about the cider parts. What are the cider notations and how to identify. Uh, so yesterday Sumit, you had left early, so that's why I am revising the topics because when I will be doing the hands-on at that time, something you like you don't face any type of doubts that
Okay, Akash.
doubt. So let me know in offline mode so that I can first I will be sharing you this document, Sumit. Go through it, and after that you will be facing any type of doubt. Connect with me. I will be able to help you in the weekdays. So if you have a time in weekdays, just let me know so that I can one-to-one
Sure,
session with you or help you. Right? So
sure, Akash. Thanks.
basically, yesterday we had discussed about the public subnet, private subnet, and today we will. So today our agenda is to implement this complete architecture, so this complete VPC in our AWS. So basically, as I like yesterday I told, like yesterday I had told you have to think your VPC as your virtual router. Means like you have to think your VPC as a virtual router. And what is the use of router? So, so router has different components, right? It has internet gateway, it has a route tables, it has a firewalls. So these all are the different components of router, right? And so if we are thinking VPC as a router, so we need to configure it like a router itself, right? So that's why we will be doing it basically. And one more thing I had informed you yesterday, right? So like whenever you are creating your AWS account, by default, AWS used to add automatically by default. AWS used to add a VPC, default VPC to all of your regions, basically that we had discussed yesterday. So basically this one, AWS provide a default VPC and multiple default subnets in all the regions for an account with the following properties. So if we will go to the console, we will go here, and if we will go to VPC, see, the name itself suggests isolated cloud resource. So what does it means actually? So isolated, it means like whatever the instances or whatever the components you are going to launch in this cloud region, right? You that will be isolated. That will be isolated. It means like it 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 will not be visible from within the account itself or any other reason. You can't view it. So if you want to view it, spatially you need to go to that VPC and you need to view that. So isolation means that. Just we'll go here and if you will see here, so basically in Oregon we have a four regions. In Oregon we have a four availability zones. Right? Oregon is a region, and we have a four availability zones in Oregon. So by default, AWS has created a single VPC in one region and four sub networks in different availability. What is written here? You will see here. VPC is created with a CIDR /16. So to check that, just click here. You will able to see like this VPC AWS has by default uh, created it for us, and the CIDR notation is /16. IP could be this range could be anything, but basically you need to think it of like this /16, and this is the minimum. You can't go beyond that. So 16 bit is This thing also you need to remember. 16-bit is fixed for the network. Rest 16-bit you need to utilize it for your host. A default subnet is created in each AZs. So yeah, also you are able to see if you will go to subnet. So a default subnet. So basically Oregon has a 4 region, and that 4 region is basically US East, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, like that, and all these availability zones is associated with this VPC, right? If you will see here, this VPC AAF97D2. If you will go here, so you will find the same VPC name, AAF97D2. So this like this used to find a linkage basically. So if you are dealing with multiple, like suppose in your company you have to deal with a multiple client, right? So multiple clients, 100 clients, 200 clients, like that, it will be there. So as per the requirement, you have to go with the different VPCs, and you need to. And this is a search bar for VPC actually. So suppose if I have a multiple VPCs, so it will give me a list. As of now, we have only one VPC, right? As of now, we have. So if we will launch one more VPC, we will be able to see here the two VPCs will be there, and so it will contains the complete list of your VPC. So suppose if I want to visit the configurations of only associated with only this VPC, so in that case it will show me the configurations for this VPC only. Will show you like after launching the second VPC for us. After that will show that. So yeah, basically there are two ways to launch a VPC. We'll go here. VPC. So launch VPC wizard. That is not suggested because you don't need to do any configurations here. All the architecture. If you will click here, so you don't need to do any configurations here. So VPC with a single public subnet, VPC with public and private subnet. So it will only if you are selecting it, and if you will select this, so background configurations all it will do. For means in a company you will be using like that only, but for a learning purpose will not go with this. We'll design our VPC from the root. So if you will go here, just we need to go to your VPCs, this section, your VPCs. Just remember your VPCs. First you need, if you are launching your VPC, so you need to go to this section, your VPCs, or you can launch from here also, but it's not suggested because all the configurations will be done by AWS only. Here you will not be able to learn anything.
Before launching, by default there will be one VPC, right? As in,
Yeah, that I told you, na, like in all the regions.
that is okay.
And mm, and suppose in Northern California you have something called 5 availability zones. So you will be having something 5 subnets. So whatever the number of availability zones are there, so that many number of subnets will be associated to your VPC. Means so what AWS used to provide us, I am telling the configurations of that. But when you are designing your own VPC, you are like you have a freedom to select whatever you want. So suppose if you want 2 subnets, so you will be selecting only 2 subnets. So like that.
Yeah, but VPC will be one.
VPC as of now it is one because this AWS has created for us. Now we will be creating our own VPC. So in that case, number will be count to 2.
Okay. With AWS, there may be multiple availability zone and subnets, but there will be one VPC as default.
What is so again? Okay, I think you missed yesterday's concept. That's why you are asking like this.
Okay.
So okay, well, no issue. I will. So see, subnets will be associated with the VPC. There will be a single subnet. There will be a single network, and under that network, you will be having a. So here the same thing means whatever you are seeing here, So this is a single network. This is a single network, and all these subnetworks is associated with this single network. If you are able to see here, so these all subnetwork, subnet ID, these all are the subnetworks ID, and this is a network. So you can see, right, all the like all the networks, all the network is the same, right? VPC AAF97D2, and this is nothing but this network actually, VPC. All the subnetworks is associated with this same network, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll launch our own VPC. Just you need to click it right like this, create VPC. You need to give a name. So I will give my VPC demo. Cider block will give 192.8.0.0/60. And we'll click on create. So the VPC is created for us. VPC is created. Now see, now we'll try to implement this architecture, because see, in company you will be getting this kind of architectures and you need to implement that. So we'll practice with like this only. We'll practice with this architecture. So yeah, so we had created our VPC. This line is for VPC. We had created that. Now the next step is to associate this internet gateway to this VPC, right? You can see it, right? Internet gateway is on the top of this VPC. So our next agenda is to associate this internet gateway to this VPC. We'll go here and click on the internet gateway. Create internet gateway. I need to give the name, so I will give my VPC demo internet gateway, IGW. Right. So this got created. Now, if you are able to see here, state is detached. So we had not associated this. So there's a name. My VPC demo IGW. IGW is basically internet gateway. So if you will go here, so we had created this. So we had created this VPC. We had created this internet gateway. Now our goal is to integrations also we need to do between these two, right? So how to do that? As of now, the state is detached. Just go here, click on action, click on attach to VPC. Here, this pop-up will come, and you need to select a VPC. If you will go here, so it will give you the VPC name. So if you have multiple VPCs, so here it will show multiple VPCs, and you need to associate like
One with it.
so. As of now, I had created this my VPC demo. So what I am doing, I am yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, Akash. Yeah, we are getting only option what we have created, right? So we can't change the default one.
Default one you can't change. Default one neither you can delete or neither you can change, because that if you will delete that, then that region is of no use. So means you will not be able to launch any instances over there. So just go here, click, and suppose if you and manually if you had created multiple VPCs, so you will be getting the complete list. As of now, we had created only one, so we'll click here and just click on attach. So if you are able to see, the state has been changed from detached to attached, right? And here in the description tab, you will be having a complete information. So So it is showing attached VPC ID is this one. So basically we had given the name also for our VPC, right? My VPC demo. So this
Gateway will basically help to transfer from one place to another.
uh, come again. I didn't get you. What you had asked.
Gateway will basically help here to transfer from one location to another.
No. Gateway will basically help you to connect to the internet. So yesterday I had given a very good example. So suppose if you are developing any framework-based applications. So suppose you are using any Django Flask, or like in Java we have a Spring Boot. These all things, right? So basically, what are these? These are the frameworks, right? So this provides you the complete framework, and you used to you used to write sorts of codes, like you used to uh, write certain codes, attach templates. These all things you used to do, attach URLs, different URLs, navigations. So if you ever had seen that, so in because I had used Django, that something called WSGI.py. WSGI.python. So WSGI is nothing but web server gateway interface. So in that file, you need to configure all your routes, like your IP address, your all the things, right? Which from which you are connecting that applications from internet. So basically, gateway the role of gateway is to provide a internet connection to your application. So basically, that's why. So if you will not attach VPC to the internet gateway, so your so whatever the resource you will be launching as a part of your VPC, it will be not accessed from the internet. So to provide the internet connection, basically we used to use this internet gateway. Name itself used to tell it is a gateway to internet. It is gateway of resource, basically applications to the internet. So that's why we are attaching it. Now if you able to see here in description tab, so this my VPC demo IGW, my VPC demo IGW has been attached to this VPC, right? So has been attached to this VPC, my VPC demo, what we had created here. If you will see here. So basically we had created this my VPC demo as of now. So it got attached here. Suppose if I will rephrase it, I will go here. Like this. You are able to see, right? So we have a basically as of now we have a two VPCs. So suppose if I want to see only this my created VPCs, right? And that will be associated to a certain customer. So basically, if I suppose if I want to see only this, just click it here. Only this resource will be visible to you. And now what is the next step? So we did this. So we had created the VPC, and we had created the internet gateway, and we had associated that internet gateway with. Now the next step, to create the subnetworks. So what basically we will be doing as a part of our demo. So AWS will provide you all the public subnets, right? That's why like whatever the instances, whatever the components you are launching works, basically you are able to access from the internet. And yesterday I had given you the definition for public subnet and private subnet. So what is public subnet? So public subnet is nothing but it whatever the resource present in that we can access that resource from the internet. And how this is possible? So with the help of this routing table, basically we used to configure routing table for that. Basically we'll show you that. So as of now we will not make everything as a public. We will be launching three subnets basically. So one VPC we had created. Now we will be launching three subnetworks. Three subnetworks we will be launching, and we will make one as a public and two as a private. So to prove my statement, I will be launching multiple instances in public and private, and we'll try to log in. We'll try to log in from internet. We'll try to log in from putty. So so you will be seeing that whatever the instances is there in public subnet, that we are able to access from the internet. So what all the resources will be or in private subnet, you will not be able to access it from the internet, and you will be getting something called server time, like some network timeout like that. This error you will be getting that. I will show you that. So the next step is to create a subnetworks. So we'll go to the subnetworks and just click on create subnet, and I will be giving name, it's like subnet 1, and yeah, availability zones we need to give. So which availability zone? So we will be using US based 2A, and we need to give IP range also. So 192.8.10.0 plus 24. Click on create. It got created, right? So one subnetwork is created. So now we will be creating so basically we will be creating three subnetworks. Create subnet, and subnet 2 will launch it in other availability zone 2B, and we'll give some IPv4. We'll go with 19.10.0 slash 24. Got created, and we'll create one more subnetwork. Go to click subnet. Subnet 3. We'll select 2C as the availability zone. 192.8.30/24. Click on create. One nine two dot eight dot 30.0/24. We had created three subnetworks in this private network, right? So if you are able to see, we can launch up to 251 instances in each subnetworks, 251 components basically, right? So now if we will go to this diagram, so basically we had created this subnetworks. We had created three subnetworks, and now we have to basically we have to make the subnet either a private or public. So how to do that basically? So to do that, I had told you yesterday, so something called route table we need to configure, and just go here, go to route tables, click on create route table, give public subnet route. Click the VPC and click on create. Similarly, we will be configuring a route table private also. Private subnet route. We'll click on create. Got created, right? So basically we have a public subnet route and private subnet route, right? Now what we need to do, we need to associate this route to internet gateway to make it as a public. We need to associate this route to internet gateway. And how to do that? Just click here, click on route, click on edit route. Basically we are doing for public one, right? No, we are not doing for, so public, this one is a public. So just select this public, click on route, click on edit routes, add route 0.0. So we'll select this. And here we will be selecting internet gateway.
We are selecting 0.0. Oh, what is this?
This is the basically we are allowing all traffics here, all destination traffics we are allowing here basically. And this I will talk in detail when I will be dealing with like inbound traffics, outbound traffics, outbound rules. So that I will be so see if you able to see here. Basically, we have a multiple components here, right? So we have a peering connection, we have a transit gateway, we have output local gateway, network instances, NAT gateway instance. So what are all these? I will be discussing you while discussing of the firewalls, basically firewalls and ACLs. These all are very important topic as compared to the security basically. So as of now, just try to think it like we are allowing all the traffics, all the destination traffics we are allowing, and we'll be selecting our internet gateway here. And now we have to save the route. So route is configured. Basically what we did, we had make this, so we had associated this internet gateway, we had associated. So the diagram states that, right? If you will associate your if you will associate your subnet to the like if you will associate to subnet to the internet gateway, so that will become your public. So whatever the instances you will be launching in that subnetworks, so that will be accessed from the internet, right? So we did the same thing. So now what to do? So basically we had created this two route tables, public subnet route and private subnet route. But in the both route table, we don't have any instances, right? We don't have any subnet associations. As of now, we don't have any subnet associations. What we will be doing, we will be associating the subnet now. Go to subnet association, click on edit. So we are associating public subnet. As of now, this you can see here, right? Public subnet route. We are associating public subnet. So click on edit subnet association. So what was our agenda? Earlier, what was our agenda? So I told you, right? We will be we will be making one subnet as a private and one subnet as a public and two subnet as a private. So we'll make this. So as of now, I am configuring the public subnet. So I will make this subnet one as a public. So we'll associate this subnet and we'll click on save. Now this public subnet has this one association. Now the same thing we'll do for the and as you remember, we had configured the IGW route, means internet gateway route, to this public subnet. We didn't configure this IGW route for this private subnet, right? Because we don't want to make it as a public. We don't want, so basically we don't want whatever the instances we are launching in this private subnet, we don't want any, like anyone from the internet can log in. So that's why we are not configuring any type of routes here. So basically this route will be created automatically, because in a local, in a private networks, you will be, so as I told yesterday, right? So these all can access these two. So suppose if the database is in this private subnet and your front end applications is in public subnet, so means, and that is visible to the public, there will be a connection between these two, and I will be discussing in detail, like what are the types of connection, so how to establish these all connections. So that is a little advanced topic. So I will be discussing that from the next session, from the next class. So for that, before that, I will be discussing firewalls and all. Right after that, we'll go to this. So as of now, what we are doing, we are just making this subnet, the other two subnet as a subnet as a private. So just go to private subnet route, click on subnet associations.
That means what required for public for accessing the database information, only that will be displayed, and the others will be private. Other things will be private.
No, see, database information. So in front end, you will be, so in front end, so you don't have any
Request for
association with
something.
the database. Yes. So that will be happening in backend only, na. So internally, if you are designing any web applications, basically, so in that case, means suppose if you had if you want to create your account, suppose if you want to create your account in Facebook, so you used to go to sign up, so you used to give all the informations, right? You used to give your name, email ID and all. So that and all mechanism is happening internally with the post method, right? So that with the help of that, all your information is going to the database. So suppose if you will go to create your account, and if you will enter all the details like name, email ID, so that and all, if you will enter, so that and all, and suppose if you had entered wrong mail ID, so in that case you used to get error. So how you used to get that? So that and all is configured in the backend. So that and all checks is happening internally, right? That and all checks is happening internally. We don't have any access to that. So that thing you can keep on your private subnet. So internally, your this EC2 will internally this EC2 will be connecting with that private subnet and getting the information. So these and that
That's
and all
what I
is an
mean to say.
internal aspect.
Internally, it will connect with the private subnet, and whatever is required for the public subnet, information will be disclosed to the customer, and others will
That you will be displaying as a field information.
others will be private to the private subnet.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So like that it works. So suppose, yeah, now coming to the context. So now I will be, so basically we had launched 3 instances, right? And our agenda is to make one instance as a public and rest 2 instances as a private. So now we'll go to this private subnet route, and we'll go to the subnet associations. Basically, we are associating the subnets. What we are doing, we are associating a subnet. So go on subnet associations, click on edit subnet associations. So with the help of this RTB01, this is already reserved actually. This I had already made this subnet one. So this 2 subnet is remaining. Just click here, just click on save. So what you did, you had associated 2 subnet as a private and 1 subnet as a public. So how public? For public, you had configured this route. For public, so private, we had not configured any types of route, right? We had not configured anything. But for public, we had configured internet gateway route. If you will able to see here, we had configured internet gateway route here. Very simple, right? So if you will, so now we had created our architecture basically. Basically, we had created a VPC, we had associated internet gateway to the VPC, we had created public subnetworks, private subnetworks, we had associated a route table with the internet gateway. So we did these all things.
Sorry, here we have only two subnet, right? One is a public, one is a private. But if we created two private, is there any specific reason?
No. You can create any number of.
I just
Uh,
wanted to relate with this diagram. That's what
uh-huh.
I.
No.
Here we have created two, right? But in diagram, what we are saying is that only one private and one public, right?
Yeah. So the thing is that if you will go to subnet, so basically we had created three subnets, right? One, two,
Yeah.
three. That's why. So if you want to create two subnets, no worries. You can delete this subnet. You can go and
I
you
thought
can.
maybe you are no. I thought you are trying to say.
No, that I made it clear earlier, right? So how many subnetworks you want to create, that many subnetworks you will be creating. So suppose, so if you will go to this Oregon region, if you will, so basically you can see here, right? We have a 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. We have a four subnetworks. So we have a four availability zones basically. So Amazon by default has created four. So if you will go here, so it's written very clearly, like a default subnet is created in each availability zones. So these all
That
things will be.
that I understood. No. My question is simple.
Uh-huh.
Because we are referring that screenshot means very frequently, right? So
Uh-huh.
in a screenshot only two subnet is there, but you are creating three. So I just ask, is there any specific region you want to show something else or
No. See,
just
the
time
thing is
pass it?
that
Okay, fine. I
that
understood
I
that.
had that I had created just to make you aware, like you can create multiple, you can associate multiple private, you can associate multiple public, so to make you more precise to that. That's why I had
Okay,
created two.
got it. Got it.
Okay. So till here you understood, right? What all the things we did.
Yeah.
So now this is done. So we had created a VPC, we had created a subnet, we had associated internet gateway with the VPC, we had associated route table with the internet gateway to make subnetwork as a public. And what is public, you know, what is private, you know, right? So up to here, crystal clear. Now we will be now what to do the next. So we will be launching EC2 instances in the subnetworks. So we'll go here, and one very good thing I will show you. We'll go to EC2. Click on launch instance. Click on the operating system basically. Click on instance type. Now this is the important now. See, earlier what we used to do, we used to directly click on add storage, right? Because we don't know anything about VPC, we don't know anything what is VPC, so that's why we used to do like that. But now we had created our own VPC now. This list, so this is the default one what AWS used to give to you. So that's why. So suppose if you suppose if this VPC will not be there, right? So suppose as of now we had created this VPC. Suppose this VPC is not there, so it is not possible for us to launch any instances. Basically, there is no any possibilities to launch that. So see, in this network, basically we have a two networks. One we had created it, and one is by default. And if we will select this by default, so under that by default we have 4 subnetworks, right? We had seen there, like in the default section we have 4 subnetworks, and for our section we had created only 3 subnetworks, right? So if I will go with this by default, so it will be giving me this 4 subnetworks, right? 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. And if I will go with this my created VPC, my VPC demo, then you will able to see only 3 subnets, because we had created only 3 subnets. And suppose if we had created only 2 subnets, so you will be able to see only 2 subnets here, right? So the things works in that way. And you need to remember that also, like which one you had made as a public and which one you had made as a private. So one as a public and the rest 2 subnet as a private, right? So what is our intention now? We will be launching each and every we will be launching each single instances in each subnet, and we'll try to access from the putty. So that I can able to log into that instances or not, that we will be able to see. So first we'll launch in this public subnet. So public subnet is subnet 1. We'll click here. We'll auto assign public IPs. We'll click on add storage. We'll click on add tag. We'll leave that. As of now, I will be trying to SSH only. So we'll configure this SSH preview instance. Launch. This is the key value pair. We'll select it. We'll click on launch instance. So instance got launched, right? Now click on launch instance. Now we will be launching EC2 instances from for the private one, right? Configure instance detail. Select my VPC demo. Go to subnet 2, that is the private one, right? And so if you remember in the last instances, I had made it as a enable. Now suppose if I will do disable, use subnet setting disable. So what basically the change you will observe, that I will make you aware. So if you will make this disable now, you will not be able to see any public IP associated to your instance basically. So public IP will not be associated to your instance, and how to solve that problem also I will tell you as a part of this demo. So we'll go with this subnet disable. Just click on add storage. Click on add tags. Okay, we are not giving any. We'll do that later. Configure security group. Review and launch. So we'll go here. We'll give name here as a private. Right. So this is so yeah, you are able to see, right? We no any public IP is been associated with this instance. Public IP is not associated with it. Now the third one I will be launching again. Select. See, one more thing, guys. So one instance I had launched in this availability zone, right? So this 250 IP addresses available. So one IP address got reduced because one IP address got assigned to this subnetworks, right? So one IP address is got assigned to the instance, EC2 instance basically. So as of now in 2C, we had not launched any instances, right? So if we will click here US West 2C, so we can see it like we have a 251 IP addresses available for us. Now in this we will do enable, add storage, add tags to your security group, associate with this key value pair, launch it. So now you are able to see like public IP will be associated. Public IP is associated because we had made that section as enable, right? I will. So basically, we have 3 instances up and running, and we'll make this as a private one to differentiate. These 2 instances is private, and this one is the public. Public private is nothing but the instances got launched in public subnet or private subnet. So now what to do? So now we will be trying to log in to this instances. So basically, what we are doing now. So private, if we will go to this private. So in one private we had associated auto assignment of IP, right? So that's why it got assigned here. But in one we had not, did not do, we did not did any kind of any sorts of that thing. So what we will be doing? We will be associating. So if and one thing, you know, right, public IP used to get changed whenever you used to launch, whenever you used to stop your instance and whenever you used to relaunch your instance, right? Now what I will be doing, I will be so if the public IP is not there, I will be allocating elastic IP to this instance. So how to do that? That I think we had discussed in the first section when we were discussing about the EC2 instance, right? Go to elastic IPs. And before that, just you need to know the name, like which instance you are assigning the IP. So the instance ID is, just try to remember, 09C, because we have a 3 instance. 09C. The last instance ID is, last keyword is something 09C. Just go to elastic IP, allocate elastic IP address, click on allocate. So this got now we will be associating it. Get elastic IP address with instance. So we have a 3. So basically 09C, right? This private one. Select this. We'll click on associate. Now if you will go at instance, so basically you are able to see, right? This elastic IP got assigned to this public IP. Elastic IP has been assigned as a part of public IP. And what is the properties of elastic IP? Anyone? What is the properties of elastic IP?
It will not get changed after this.
Exactly. So if I will stop the instance, if I will relaunch the instance, so it will not be get changed. Now the thing is that we have to, and one more thing you need to remember very precisely, like this thing you need to remember to save your cost and all. So suppose what I did here as of now, I have created one elastic IP, right? I have created that and I have associated that elastic IP to my instance. So suppose if I had created, so as of now I am not paying anything for my elastic IP. Like I am not paying anything for the elastic IP because that elastic IP is in use. As of now, this elastic IP is in use, right? So as of now, if you will see here, this elastic IP has been associated with this instance. So suppose in future, if I will delete every each and all instances, I will be deleting it, right? Complete instances, I will be deleting it. So as soon as you will delete your instance, so that elastic IP will get detached, right? Because the instance itself is not there. So with whom elastic IP will be get attached. So if you will be deleting the instance, so your elastic IP will be released. Basically, it is in released state. So if your elastic IP is in released state, you will have to pay for that. So if your elastic IP is in use state, is in associated state, so you don't have to pay anything for that because already you are paying for instances. Because see, so this is a clever technique actually. elastic IP is associated with the instance. So you are already paying for your instance, right? You are already paying for your instances. So your instance is running and you are already paying for that. Suppose if you want to associate elastic IP, you can do that and you will not going to pay anything for your elastic IP. But as soon as you delete your instance, so you are not because you had deleted your instance as of now. So you are not paying anything for your instance. So now if your elastic IP is there in your cart or in your bag, so you need to pay for that. So what is the best practice? If you are associating any elastic IP to your instance, and if you are deleting any instances, just delete your instance and after that go to elastic IP section and delete that elastic IP also. Otherwise, you will have to pay. That is the funda. You need to understand about the elastic IP. Now the next agenda is so we had launched instances, right? So one is the private and one is the public. So private is nothing but it is launched in the private subnet. So that's why it is a private. Go to putty. First, we'll try to SSH into the public one. So as of now, I am, if you are able to see, I had selected this public and I will select this IP address. We'll go here. We'll click on open. EC2 user. We are able to access the resource from internet, right? We are able to access it. Able to see. So whatever the instance we had launched in the public subnet, so we are able to access that instance from the everybody. If I will give you this, if I will ping you this IP address, and if I will ping you this IP address and I will ping you the basically private key. So with that, you will also be able to log in to the same instances from your system also. Same instance, you will also be able to log in, right? So basically, this is exposed to the internet. This instance is exposed to the internet. Now, what we will try to do? First, we'll select this private one, private IP. Now we'll try to log in. We are not able to. After some time, some error will come. Network connection timeout, something it will. Connection timed out, right? We are not able to log in from the internet. The same thing will do for this private one. Same error you will get. So with this we can able to conclude. With this we can able to conclude. So earlier what we used to do earlier, irrespective of availability zones, so whatever the availability zones we used to select, we used to log in that instances from internet, right? We able to do SSH, we deploying any web applications over that instances, so we are able to access that from the web browser, right? So that and all we able to do earlier, right? But as of now, I had created my own network. So in my own network, so I had given some sorts of functionality to my network basically, and I had associated internet gateway, I had associated route tables, I had I had created my own subnetworks. So like only 3 subnetworks are there in my region: 2A, 2B, 2C, right? But in the uh, defaults, but in default network, what AWS had provided to us, in that we have a 4 availability zones, right? Because that is a property of AWS. Basically, it will give you a 4 availability zones. Not 4, basically. Suppose if you have a 5 availability zones, then it will give you 5 subnetworks in that. So like that it works.
Why is this error?
Which error?
So it was some error was coming now while connecting.
Because that instance is in private subnet, and I told you, right? You will go here. Private subnet, you will not be, so whatever the instances you will be launching in private subnet, you will not be able to access it from the internet. That's why that error is coming.
But we can log into Putty and we can do something there.
So now you tell me, like you are logging from the putty. So how can you able to log in from the putty? You are only able to log into the putty like if some connection is there, like if some route if some internet gateway routes are already provided to your instances, so after that only you are able to log into putty. Means the resources is available on internet, so after that only you are able to log into putty, or after that only you able to log in from the web network. So if that if that route itself is not there, so web server internet WSGI, so web server gateway interface itself is not there, so how you will be able to log in? So that basically you try to think in that way, so that private subnet is not being like the availability of private subnet is only in your private networks, it is not in your public network, and this putty is the public network. Basically, this is a public network. This is my own system. With this system I am able to log into the AWS system, AWS world basically. So AWS VPN, AWS virtual private network, I am able to access from this putty. So in that case, some gateway should be there, right? To establish a connection. So that's why you are not able to log in to it. Understood.
In that case, how to access this private subnet instances? Real world?
Yeah, from real world you can't be able to access. From a virtual private network only you will be able to access. So that is our next agenda. So what we will be doing, we will be establishing a connection from this public subnet to the private subnet with the different logics called network ACLs. So these all things are there. So we'll discuss these all from the next week.
Talk between two subnets.
Yeah.
Or to communicate between two subnets.
And that too from the private network, not from the public network.
Within that organization.
Within that, so something we have. So suppose if you will go.
But suppose we want to launch some server and we want you're saying that It means suppose we want to launch some applications. So after login to Putty, whatever applications we want to launch via internet, so those applications only we are able to means suppose any server and we want to deploy any application, those applications only we can deploy in Putty. Those are publicly accessible.
Yeah, but I am telling you this thing also. You can able to access your private subnet from the private networks, not from the public networks. So to access from the private network, we have to
Some
do
defined logic. Okay. Yeah.
some ACL connections and all. So again, I am telling like
Got
related
it.
to
As of
very small
now,
concepts. As of now,
as it is a from public
you have
for
to understand. As of now, you have to understand like uh, so. As of now, you have to understand whatever we are doing from the public.
public. Yeah. So
Everything
what
what we are configuring, we are configuring it from the public.
public,
And
yeah. What we can access through the cloud, that only we are able to deploy in Putty
yeah,
publicly.
I will show one thing so that will clear your doubt, I guess. So see, we have something called two IP, and one is private IP. So that concept I had discussed in the first class itself. We have a public IP and we have a private IP, right? So see, if you are able to see here, so we have a public IP and we have a private IP. So public IP is for what? So as of now, I am using this public IP, right? To log into the from login from the putty, I am making use of this public IP, right? So what is the characteristics of public IP? Public IP is something which is which is exposed over the internet. So with this public IP, I can able to log in, right? With this public IP, I can, so if this is the public one, so with this public IP, I can able to log in from the public server, from my server
And
basically.
okay, and deployment application.
And we are deploying our applications. But in an organization, people used to perform all the operations from the private IP, right? So that's why some VPN. So that's why you used to go into your own virtual private network. Only after that you able to access some applications. Otherwise, you are not able to access. So that is the funda here. So whatever the things are there, like whatever the things are there. So I had shown you this thing. One more thing, right? So if I will not, so while launching the instance, if I will disable it, if I will, so if I will disable it, so in that case, public IP will not be assigned to my system, right? So I will not be able to log in from the public network. I think it cleared your doubt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Akash, I have one doubt here. Like now, as you mostly we'll use private subnets for the database configurations and all. For example, if you create EBS thing and all, so how you will make mounting and all without accessing through that console? I mean, as a terminal, whatever putty thing.
See, I am telling you, right? There will be a connection here with the help of ACLs, network ACLs. There will be a connection between these two. So with the help of private, so, so with the help of private IP, I can log in it and I can do my things, right? With the help of that, I can able to do that. But publicly, I can't be able to log in and I can't be able to configure. So suppose if the connection, so as of now, just try to think in this way. So suppose if this connection will be getting established, right? Private subnet connection got established. So in that case, we can. So in that case, while from our private VPN, with the private VPN, we can so with the help of private VPN, we can able to access these two. So whatever the resource are there. So if I will be in my private network, so as of now, I am in public network, right? That's why as of now, I am in public network, and I had made this sub network as a public. That's why I am able to access it from public network. And if we had made this as a private one. So in while with the help of private network, we can able to access it, right? With the help of private network, we can able to access our everything. We can able to access whatever the so see if you
Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, you mean company level there might be a VPN, and in that VPN you can able to access those
in that
IPs.
VPN, so in that VPN you so if you remember, so that VPN makes use of private IP, right? So whatever the things you use to perform in your VPN, so that's why just think in that way. Some applications you are able to, so as soon as you are logging into your VPN, you are able to access some of the applications, but as soon as you come out from that VPN, you are not able to access that. So
Correct. Yeah.
what is happening? What is happening in that? So basically, you are coming out from that VPN and you are trying to access this private something called private IP from the public that you can't be able to access. Only the public thing, whatever is exposed over the internet, so that you will be able to access if you are not in your VPN. And the company, what company used to do for the security purpose, so they used to create their own virtual private networks and they used to deal with this private IPs, right? They used to deal
Got
with this. So see, now one more very interesting thing. So if you are able to see here this private IP, the private IP starts from 192.8.30.230. So basically this you forgot as of now. So this start from 192.8.30, right?
your IP, correct machine IP. Okay.
If you will go here to your VPC, so try to remember this 192.8.30.
Yeah, I remember. There we have given that
There
1928
we had given,
start.
right? There we had given. So I will show you also. So basically, what the range we had given, what the range we had given, so that got assigned to our right 192.8. We will now go to the subnet. So basically, this is a network. So it will go to subnet 192.8.20.10. So after that, it is taking it. And suppose if you want to calculate the total IPs, so just you will go here. So 256 total connections, and the first IP that will be assigned to the router, and the last IP will be reserved for the broadcast. That also you need to remember. So with the help of this tool, you can able to get it which IP is reserved for your router and which IP is reserved for your broadcast, right? So all things you can able to see. So whatever we did as of now, I will be repeating the same step again to make you understand. Basically, I will be repeating same step again now. I will be deleting complete VPC. soon as I had terminated it, so the next step what I will be doing, I will be going to Elastic IP and I will be deleting that, right? Because I have to charge for AWS will charge it, will not do that. Elastic IP. Now I don't have to pay anything. So again to the VPC. As soon as I had deleted the VPC, so we'll do the same step again. VPC. Go to your VPC. Click on create VPC. My VPC demo 2 192.8.0.0 VPC got created. Now the next step. So don't try to remember the steps. Don't try to mug up the steps. So, so these all things we will be performing with the help of some architecture, right? We will be getting some architectures, and with the help of that architecture, we will be doing that and all. So first, before doing these all things, we will be creating our own architecture with the help of pen and paper. After that, only we will be coming to here, and we will be like people used to do in that way. Like as a solution architect, you also need to follow this strategy basically. So, and after that, you have to try to follow that architecture what you had printed. So now I need to create internet gateway. Click on create internet gateway. My VPC IGW. As of now, it is in detached state. We need to attach it, right? Attach to the VPC what we had created. Attach to VPC. Select the VPC. Go on attach. Got attached, right? The next step. So we had created VPC. We had attached it to the internet gateway. Now the next step is to create subnetworks. So as of now we will be creating only two subnet.
One is private and one is public.
Yeah. Private subnet 1. We'll select 2A 192. create, got created. Private subnet one is created. Now we'll create the public subnet. Click subnet 2. We'll select the VPC. We'll select availability zone. We'll give IPv4 range. Create. Close. It got created, right? Public subnet and private subnet is got created. Now we'll go to the route tables. We'll click create route table. So public route table. Select the VPC. Create. We'll click create one more route table, that is the private one. Private route table. Select the VPC. Create. Click on close. So now we'll go to the public one, and so we had created these two. Now what we have to do, we have to make, so as of now we had created, so we had given name only, we had not made the this subnetwork as a public one. So how to do that? With the help of this route table, we have to associate that route table with the internet gateway, right? We'll go to here, we'll go to public, we'll go to routes, we'll go to edit routes, we'll go to add routes, we'll add it, all the net, like all traffic. We'll select internet gateway. So as of now, we are associating it with internet gateway, right? So see, that's why I had told you, right? So as of now, I am making this as a public one, right? So as of now, I am making this as a public one. So we have a multiple options here. If you are able to see, we have a multiple options: NAT gateway, network interface, peering connection, transit gateway. So we had not virtual private gateway. See, this virtual private gateway. So we have a different gateways. So we'll discuss these all things in detail. What are these? So as of now, I am exposing it to internet gateway, right? The
That is public.
public one, right?
Yes.
So select this
We are
IGW.
getting the error. Now we'll not get the error because we are connected.
So what you are getting error? I didn't get you.
No. Previously, as we are not connected to public, yeah, that error came. So now we are connecting to public.
Because because for that we had not defined any type of route.
Okay.
That's why you are getting error. For the private one, we had not defined any types of route. So if you will go to this diagram, so for the private one, we had not defined any types of route, right?
Okay.
I told you from the next class we will be discussing. We will be discussing like how to access
how to route the private ones.
Private one within the private networks. Within the private network. So if we will route this private one to the public network, so what is the use of the private? So so suppose I will do the same thing for private one also. So there will be no any use of it, right? So that's why. Save route. Click on close. So we have configured it. Now what we will be doing, we will be associating. So as of now we had created, right? Now we will be associating the subnet to the public and private. So we'll go here, click on edit subnet associations. So first, so for what we are doing for public one, public route table, right? So if you are able to see here, public route table, we are doing for the public one. So we'll associate public subnet. So which one is the public? So first one is the public, right? Associate this. And now we'll associate the private subnet. So this by default is we have to associate it. It's done actually. Now what we will be doing, we will be launching instance. So one in public and one in private we will be launching. We'll select my VPC. We'll first launch in the public one. Click on enable, storage, tags, security groups. If you want launch, we'll associate public and private key. We'll launch it now. So it got launched in the public subnet, right? Public subnetworks. So we had launched our EC2 instances in public subnetworks, and we will try to differentiate it. Public, right? Now we'll do the same thing for the private one. Private, enable, add storage, add tags, groups. Now we have a two instances, one in public and other one in private. So we'll write it as a private. So first we'll try to SSH to the public one. So we'll go here. We'll go here, guys. Select this IPv4. We'll do open. You're able to log in, right? To user. Now we'll select the private one. We'll select it. We'll try to open, but we will not be able to log in because that is a private one, right? So if that is a private, and if we are able to access it from the public network with the public IP, basically, we will not be able to do it. Straight and clear. Right. So any doubt up to here? To here, any doubt you can ask? So today's session is complete of the hands-on only. That's why we'll start the next topic from the next session. We'll be directly diving into the firewall concept. So after that, we can understand like how to access the private networks. So what are the ACLs? So these all things. Very important topics and from the next class. We'll just terminate these two instances. And yeah, one more thing, because today what we did today we had only discussed the uh, what to call it, demo sessions, right? So this complete recording I will be sharing with you. This complete 1.5 hour recording I will be sharing with you, so that uh, that will help you to understand the VPC. Actually the recording used to get get time to download it into my Webex account. So as soon as it will be available, so I think by today night it will be available to my account, and after that by tomorrow I will be sharing you the complete recording, because so that you can go through it, and it will be helpful for me also, because again creating the same steps, it will be hectic for me also. So today we did complete demo only, right? So that will help you guys. Just I will be sharing you this complete recording with you for the VPC. No worries for that, and you can go through it and you can practice.
Akash, I have one doubt. Actually, like not doubt. Actually, I want you already have explained, but I wanted to know actually in load balancer. So, which is the best we are using in real time industry?
Network.
Network.
Yeah.
But network, it is only network layer. It will just route it to another.
No,
Mean
you have something called you have something called you have something called uh, target groups also, right, in the network. So see, it depends on industry basically. Amazon used to use your application load balancer, and that depends on the timing also. Like suppose if they are announcing big billion days and all, so they will go with the network load balancer. At that time, they will be making use of the network load balancer. And
okay, that will be faster in big billion
that
days.
will be faster, exactly. So
Okay.
apart from that, because Amazon, you see, that depends actually. If you will try to think, so Amazon used to have a in different pages they used to access in every pages their configuration. So their website is too much complex in every pages, in every URL basically, and URL is nothing but URI part. So in every URI part they used to get access to so every pages has the very much detailed access to the database. So in that case, application load balancer is helpful, because so every URI part we will be associating in different target groups, and so that depends on the company wise. So network and application is both used in the real time applications.
Okay. And in network means different target groups. Maybe only.
Under target groups, you will be placing. So, what is a target group basically? Target group is a collection of instances, right? Collection of the same configuration of the instances. So, in there, you will be dumping multiple instances over there, and network load balancer is the rope is ultra fast, as uh, as like if you will launch the network load balancer, you will be able to see that also. That is ultra fast, right? So that will give the mm, very much availability of the applications, and so what they will be doing, they will be dumping all the applications. So so they will be not doing any route based traffic in that case. So basically URI based traffic. So they will not be doing, the company will not be doing that, because at a certain, so every user will be going to the certain pages, right? Every user will be going to the inventory details of the, so if I had launched big billion days, So every user will go to the inventory details page, and over the inventory detail page only they will be accessing. Some of the users will go in some other different pages. So that page is specific. So in Big Billion Day, everybody will
Okay, got it. We
everybody will
don't
come
need
for
same page.
everybody will come for the same page.
So that's why it is faster. And where more traffic is required, that
Faster.
time it will go for application load balancer. Best target will be group will decide where to send.
And one more thing, network load balancer is costlier than application load balancer. So with that only you are able to identify like which one is
Performance is better there.
performance is very much good in network load balancer.
Okay.
We'll delete it. So any doubt up to here, guys? Up to here, I want like any doubt. If you have any doubt up to here, you can ask. And if you have any more doubt related to the topics what I had covered, you can also ask that. And we'll try to wind up today's session before 5. And right, and I will be like I will be sharing you this complete by end of the day today, or maybe most probably by tomorrow, because in night I will be getting this recording in my Webex account. After that, I will be downloading it and I will be sharing with you all. Any doubt you can ask. And one more thing, like, did you get a chance to go through the assignment what I had shared? Probably by end of this month, it will be required. But did you did you get a chance so that if you have any doubt over there, you can also ask me.
Because I'll go through next week and maybe by next Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, no worries. Just I had asked.
Because more busy in the new upcoming projects.
So
I couldn't work there.
yesterday what discussions and all, like some new, as you told, some new projects are.
Actually, transition will be there for a week. Actually, I took it wrongly. It will be for till next Saturday, and based on that, means they will let us know how they work, what are their domains and all. And based of that, there will be another discussion with the sales team, and then it will be carried forward. But in lockdown, I don't know how the process is, how much fast or how much slow.
Okay, so you are telling only up to the next week. So yesterday you were telling
Ah,
like
so I was thinking like that. I got a wrong information from the means from our sales team. But yesterday I had interacted with business. I got the clear. It will be mostly till next Saturday.
okay, so not issue. I think after that we can go for that night classes, right? So sorry, evening class. Okay, so any doubt, guys? Anyone you can ask. Not then we'll wind up the today's session.
Not doubt, Akash. One thing I would like to, you were mentioning, right, that you will speed up things. So again, you said now we'll ending this session. So what is that impact? Just want to understand. Like, is it from where you see that
Speed
thing?
up, like can get you speed up. What do you mean by speed up?
I mean, speeding up the
Speed up
things.
in the sense. Okay. Okay, that speed up is nothing but like uh, I will be devoting more time to you because see, if we will be entering into that what to call uh, like DevOps and all, so I will be not leaving you in between, because in DevOps, So to do the complete project, you need to give something, some 4 hours. Someday you have to, because what experience I am telling you from my previous batches and all. So basically, you need to give 4.5 hours also, 4 and 5, sometimes 5 hours also, because if we will be dealing with the project, so you have to give suppose if we will be starting from the session from 5 o'clock, you have to give up to 9, and so uh, that and all things I was referring, and mainly I was referring to utilize this lockdown time basically.
Okay.
My main focus was on to utilize this lockdown timing.
Yeah, exactly. One day we had one holiday, but we couldn't spoke about that. How can we? We could have used that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is that I will be scheduling. So by by contacting to you in the groups and all. So I will be scheduling some more classes, some frequent classes, like 3 classes, 4 classes, 5, like that. If time demands, so we'll go with that also. We will be doing that way. As of now, no required. As of now, these all things are not required. But the main thing is, like, suppose if we have in so as of now, the project is very not that much tough, right? We used to just finish it in just half 1.5 hours, maximum 2 hours, sometime 2.5 hours, like that. But during DevOps thing, so we have to configure each and everything, integration to deployment, complete thing we have to configure. So we have to use Linux also there. So complete packages will be there. So and before starting that and all, you have the better understanding, so that you will be able to give some like 4 hours, 4.5 hours if required. So that, and the thing is that uh, the main thing, like, we have to utilize this lockdown period also. And
So as per you said, like Akash, our understanding is we are on track, right? So like if time demands, like then we can go for that. Not a problem for the, like as you mentioned, for the machine like machine learning and all. Oh, sorry, DevOps and all sessions, right? So what I will suggest, like just give us a heads up before what this session, so we can have plan it. And I think better to just take a start early, because what I feel means after 7 and all till 8 9, that will be a bit difficult for us, I guess.
okay, so yeah,
If required 4 hours or four
that
and a
we
half
know.
hours is fine. Then that better to just start early. That will be better for us, I guess.
Yeah, that I understood.
That's the suggestion. Yeah.
That
So
I
yeah.
understood. So see, we will not be taking 4 hours, 5 hours. So if I am free, if you are not free, then it is a no use of taking 4 and 5 hours. So if something is like that, so I will be informing you in the group. I will be informing you in the group prior 1 or 2 days before. So you will be so by taking your time only, I will try to manage that, and also we'll start from 3, we'll go up to 8. So like that we can do that. So it's not, I had given you just a small example. It's not like that, like we'll start from 5 only and we'll go to 9. It's not like that. So I had given you some example, but the thing is that means we need to give more times. That is the main issue.
Yeah,
And
we understood. Yeah, we understood. Sometimes it's required more time. So
Correct.
suppose you having better idea, right? Like today I am going to explain this, and it will take more time. So you will be always in better position to say. So in that case, just we can plan little early. Means accordingly
Yeah.
we can start early. So it will be bind up with the like
Advanced. Yeah.
around 7:38
On or
around.
before 8. Yeah, we can,
Yeah,
if we can
yeah,
wind up.
correct.
exactly. Yeah, we'll do that. It's not an issue. So if something is like that, so as of now, as of now we have to. So some topics are there. So 50%, 40 to 50, 45%, you can say we had covered this VPC, and more 55% is left. Like uh, because security is the main thing, right? You will be getting too many questions on securities. You will be getting too many interview questions on the securities, and you have to have a good knowledge of securities, firewalls. So that and all is a major part here. We'll discuss by the next week. No, by the I think 3 more classes is required for that, and after that we will be directly diving into uh, S3 buckets basically, and after that IAM roles and CloudWatch. Uh, these all things we will be looking, and will so after completing these all, will one day will completely we will be dedicating to implement some architecture. So I have a many. So I have a 20 to 30 architectures like Netflix architecture, Amazon architecture, AWS. So this AWS, this is like what we are seeing as of now. So this is also based on some certain architectures, because this is also deployed over the cloud, right? So this type of architecture, these all things. So uh, means will I will be discussing one of the architectures, and I will be giving you 3 to 4 architectures as your assignment. So after that, we will be after discussing that and all, will be going to the Linux, and Linux will be somewhere around 1 to 1.5 months, because Linux is also very important. We have to, because see, I can tell you, Linux is the core of the DevOps. Linux is the core of your DevOps. That's it. You need to be very precise over the commands and all of the Linux. So that so scripting and all is that and all is the core of your DevOps. That's what I want to tell. So we'll be focusing we'll be focusing the Linux concept during that 1.5 months. After that, we'll go to the DevOps, and DevOps will take somewhere around 2 to 2.5 months. It will take. So that and all, we'll plan that. We'll do that. It's not an issue. So that is the agenda, guys.
Yeah, so as per like if all things goes fine, what is our plan? Like when will be bind up with this all this course? Again,
What?
it's like depends up. No, like if we suppose all thing goes fine, we are able to bind up this course by which month?
Yeah, so I think more 4 months is there. Like so, if we will be doing rapid classes, so if you will be doing rapid classes, as I told you, like we'll do 4 classes, 5 classes in a week, 3 to 4 classes in a week. So in that case, 3 months, and in that case, 3 months will be there, and in that case, 3 months will be there, and uh, suppose if this space is only going on, so with that 4 months, 4 to
By September end, we can say like right
yeah,
September.
yeah, yeah.
One more thing, Akash, regarding that certification, I can see like there are two types. Like on solution architect, there is one associate and one is a professional, something like that.
Professional, exactly.
Yeah. So is there any criteria like we can't go for the professional directly? We have to go for associate first and then for professional, something like that. Is there any criteria, or we can
No,
go
no,
for
no.
any exam?
You can go directly to any exam, but the thing is that, but the main thing is that you have to clear that exam. So for associate, so that purely depends on your experience, like how many different architectures you had seen actually. So if you will go for the associate, so in that you will be like more question will be on your experience basically. More question will be on your experience, and this is a good place, because we are covering we are covering uh, everything here for the associate, right? We are covering, and better to go starting, I will tell. So if you are if you are starting your career, right? If you are starting your career, and you had not worked in this deployment strategies, so basically what are these are the deployment strategies, right? So if you had worked over the deployment strategies, then it's fine. And so then you can go for the professional one. So, but what I will suggest, uh, starting, just you go with the associate. It will it will
Oh yeah, I was checking on that. There are two versions, right? SCA 001 and SCA 002. Something. They introduce new version of that exam or what?
yeah. So discussions are going on, guys. So AWS I mean Amazon will be implementing new sets of the question paper for solution architect, because as per today's like as per today's scenario, there are 60 to 70% things which are going on the DevOps culture. Like people are more uh, concise, more precise towards the DevOps. So previously, what used to happen, you will be not getting any sorts of question, any DevOps sorts of question in your solution architect. But DevOps is also a practice, right? DevOps is also a practice, and it is more kind of your architecture. So that and all will be they will be including some sorts of DevOps also in their solution architect. Only architectural patterns, not the implementation patterns. Only the architectural patterns of the DevOps they will be including in new sorts of exam. Earlier it was not there. So that and all discussions are going on, and I think probably they will launch that.
I think they have given like March 2020 onwards that CA 002 is available, that exam. That's what they mentioned in their site. Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, means that is advanced. That is the means new version, not I can say advanced version, and nothing is advanced or nothing is weak here. So means that is a new version of the exam, and that will include your DevOps architecture also. Any more question, guys? Any more questions?
Question from our side. Actually, we all are discussing about this. Actually, these steps, whatever we are getting as a reference is good. But what if we can get these steps recording or in the form of a screenshot, it may help.
I didn't get you. What steps in recording? Please be precise, like what steps you want okay, so you are telling like for the route 53 what I had given you in the written form, so that you want as a
That is
form of
fine.
document.
That is fine. Means what we are discussing in the form of a of steps or in the form of a like a screenshot or in the form of a like recording format.
See, for this VPC I am giving you the complete recording.
Yeah, yeah.
This I am giving you this complete recording, so whatever we had discussed today, so I will be providing you this complete recording by tomorrow, that I am giving. And please tell me like for what you want, like which you have, what thing you had not understood, so that I can also work from my side, and I can do I can like I can make the steps and I can send you. So that in that please be precise over that.
No, Akash, like what Sumit I think meant is like you were told right previously, so you will able to give some recording steps if possible. You only told this thing, right? So that
So
yeah.
that's what I am giving. So here and in the last class also I was about to give, and I told you the reason, right? So in that day, 2 times power cut has happened, so that's why the recording is not been completed for that. That's why I was not able to share that, right? But today today the complete recording is there. I am able to see also as of now the complete recording is there, and I will be sharing you that. That is like
Yeah, is there any okay? Yeah, we got it. Today's one you told already, you mentioned. There is no question about that. So in previous steps, anything you had any recordings or available that you can share, right? Not only that power gone one, so we can accept that it was went and you couldn't you weren't able to do that. Are there any previous for those
previous
steps?
you mean previous you mean about the storage, about the EC2 instances creation, right? Only that much, and the load balancer. So I had shared you, and I think
Mm,
because
yeah, storage is and all fine. Storage launching EC2, AMI.
uh-huh. Okay, these all are fine. So you are talking about auto scaling and auto scaling and load balancer I had shared. So see, I have to see actually, because all the classes I won't generally use to record basically. So I have to see if it is there, I will like I have no any problem to share with you. If it is there, then I will be sharing you, and and uh, uh, and like try to see, try to be precise. So if you are facing any doubt, so come up with the topics so that I can recreate it. So if you will tell, okay, so I tried yesterday I tried this auto scaling, I didn't able to do that. So what I will be doing, I will be recreating that, and I will be sharing with you, so that will be helpful. From now onwards, what I had promised in the last session, like in the last to last session, that I will be sharing you the complete steps for the complete recording for the demo. So that I am doing, actually. So for this also, like that didn't able to do for the route 53, because I had told you the reason. So that I am doing, and for this I will be sharing you by tomorrow. You will be getting this recording, and it is, I can see it, like it is it has been recorded. So I will be sharing you with you all, and in the future classes also, like if we are, so suppose as I told you, like for the 4 hours some projects we will be doing, so that the complete recording you will be getting for that. No worries for that. And
Okay, sure, Akash. Thanks.
okay. So any more question, anyone?
Okay.
No, Akash.
Okay,
It's
so
fine.
in that case, we'll just wind up the today's session, and yeah, we'll share you this recording by tomorrow, and try to practice it, guys, from your side. If you're facing any type of doubt, let me know. I will able to help you. And from the next class, we will be getting deep dive into the VPC. So we had understood like what are the VPC basic things, we got it right. How to create the architectural patterns basically. So these all things we got it. Now we have to deep dive into the VPC. So we'll do it from the next week, and we'll connect you, and you all, like any type of doubt related to this topic, like you are free to connect me anytime. Just ping over the group. I will be able to help you. Okay. Okay, guys. So thanks a lot for your time, and we'll connect the next week. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Akash. Thanks all.
Thanks
Thanks.
all.
Thank you.